Hey everyone, welcome for our second session in our Asana Awareness practice. Today we're going to use the breath. Of course we always use the breath, but today we're going to focus on that and see how we can use it as a tool in our practice. So let's get started. Again, for our second session we're going to start sitting down. You can use something under the hips if you feel it's nicer for the knees or for the hips. Sometimes you just have a little bit more space, okay? So again, as always, when you're sitting down, try to lengthen through the crown of your head and try to root through the spine, the hips, buttocks. Try to relax the legs a little bit. Lift the sternum, find your pose. And take a few breaths. You don't have to change anything about the breath right now. This is just about becoming aware of your rhythm today. Because it can change. It can change daily, and you change your nostril all the time through which you breathe more. So it can be really nice to just focus on the breath without the need to do anything about it. Just feel the rise and fall and see if you can relax the belly. Because if you can relax the belly, automatically the breathing will go down a little bit. Maybe you already feel that. So don't force anything. Always try to breathe from softness, from easiness, never from hardness, from hardness or from pushing yourself, from tension. And then stretch the arms out, pinkies can touch the floor. And on your next breath in, you bring the arms all the way up. The palms of your hands facing upwards, stretch yourself out, and when you breathe out, you bring the hands together in front of your heart. We're going to do that a few more times, okay? So when you breathe in, come up, stretch, you can look up if you want, and when you breathe down, bring the hands in front of your heart. In your own rhythm, okay? So don't go too fast or too slow, just use your breath. We're going to do it one last time. On your next breath in, bring the arms up, and when you breathe out, just let them sink back down. Relax the shoulders while you do so. Now we're going to go the other way. So when you breathe in, you bring the arms up all the way to the midline, and when you breathe out, you open up, you push, it's like pushing the air down. So you bring the hands, the palms of the hands towards the floor, and then bring them back in front of your heart. When you breathe in, bring them all the way up. When you breathe out, push the air down. Okay, we're going to do it one more time. Breathe in, and all the way down. Very good. You can keep the hands low, but you can bring them slightly above the floor, okay? From here, you can bring the arms back up again. Try to keep them in line with the shoulders or a little bit wider, whatever feels comfortable to you. Now when you breathe out, we're going to come into a little twist. One arm goes to the back, one arm goes to the front, all the way down. And when you breathe in, you bring them back up and you twist back towards the front. Breathe out, other side. One arm goes down towards the front, one arm towards the back, they can touch the floor. When you breathe in, come back up, twist towards the front, and out, other side. So keep making this movement for a little bit. When you breathe in, you come up. Try to keep the shoulders low. So if you come up, relax the shoulders, kind of integrating the arms back into the shoulders, into the back. One more time. So breathe out, come back down. And when you breathe in, you come up. From this movement, you can bring the hands towards the front and you can come onto all fours. So I need to Change position. For you, you can just roll towards the front of your mat. And from here, we're going to go straight to downward facing dog. So curl the toes under, keep the hands firmly on the floor, lift the knees, or go to puppy pose. Remember, you keep the knees on the floor, you just walk the arms forward, the hips stay in one line with the knees, and you just let the chest go down a little bit towards the mat. So that way you have the same benefits as from downward facing dog. Keep breathing. If you want, you can walk the dog, as they say, which means you keep the toes on the mat, but you bring the heels one after the other a little bit more towards the floor, so you bend the knees. It's like walking in the same place. Try to keep the weight all the way back. And then from here, from this downward facing dog or puppy pose, we're going to come to the front of our mat. So walk yourself with your feet between your hands and try to keep the feet about hip distance apart. There's a little bit of space between the feet. You can bring the hands a little bit more forward if they reach the floor, otherwise you can bring the hands on the shins if you want. Or you can just let them hang. You can relax the head. Try to notice how you're breathing right now, if anything changes. And try to keep the weight evenly distributed over both feet, okay? Now on our next breath in, we're going to come to a half lift. So you make a strong back, you lift the sternum, maybe your hands keep touching the floor, maybe they are lifted off the floor and then you can leave them on your thighs or on your upper legs. But try to keep a very long back, use your belly muscles, bring the shoulder blades together, shoulders away from the ears, so you have a long neck as well, and we're looking towards the floor. So otherwise you're crunching the neck if you look forward. Keep breathing, see what happens to the breath. This can be a really strong pose, so hang in there. And when you breathe out, just roll down, relax the back, relax the shoulders, relax the arms. We're going to do that one more time. When you breathe in, come up to a half lift, lengthen, shoulder blades together, lift the sternum. So you lengthen still through the spine, only the tailbone is not going downwards, it's going backwards. The top of your head is going towards the front. And again, when you breathe out, roll down. On your next breath in, we're going to roll all the way up. We're going to roll, so we're going to keep the back relaxed. Roll all the way. And when you're all the way up, bring the hands up as well. So we're going to stretch ourselves. When you breathe out, we're going to roll down. Use the breath to roll yourself all the way down. When you breathe in, one more time. Roll yourself all the way up, bring the hands up. Be careful of any dizziness, so do it slowly. If you have to do it in more than one breath, it's totally fine. And stay there for a little bit. Okay, so keep that length for a second. Close your eyes if you want to. And we're going to use what we learned in the first session about standing strong. So pay some attention to how you're standing. Invite your awareness into your feet. Try to notice what happens to the hands. Keep breathing. And then you can let the right arm go down. Left arm stays up. And we're going to make a little side bend. You can make it as far as you like. And as we did with the sitting one last time, we're not collapsing towards the right. We're stretching our left, but we're keeping strength in the right side and in the left side. Try to keep the balance on both feet and keep the breathing going. So you use some of the belly muscle and you probably notice that the breathing won't go down as far. That's really okay. Just keep it relaxed. Slowly in, slowly out towards the nose, through the nose, towards the belly. Try to keep the head in line with the neck, so you don't let the head fall. Just keep it strong. And when we're breathing in, lengthen, come all the way up. When you breathe out, relax the left. And on your next breath in, we're taking the right all the way up. When you breathe out, stretch towards the left. Really good. Keep the balance on the feet. And the same goes with every pose. You pull the navel in and backwards a little bit. Tailbone goes down, so the lower back is long. Keep breathing. You're doing really good. When you breathe in, come back up. Breathe out, relax. Now we're going to make a little back bend. And it can be really exciting. Sometimes for people, a lot of things can happen with the breath when we're doing a back bend. So we're going to make it very soft. So never push yourself in back bend. It's a technique that sometimes needs some practice. So make sure your feet are a little bit apart, so the legs are strong. And then bend the knees as far as you can without the heels lifting from the floor. So you bend the knees. And then all we're going to do is push the pelvis, the hips forward. So you pull the navel up, you keep the navel upwards. You push the tailbone down and you pull forward or push forward, depending on how does it feel for you. Then we already have a back bend. But the lower back is not cringed. The lower back is still long because I'm pulling the navel up, pushing the tailbone down. A lot of things happening with the breath because I use a lot of belly muscles. So a lot of things are happening when you're breathing in this pose. You might hear it from my voice. My voice is going to change because my breathing changes. So try to feel what happens when you're in this pose and make it soft, right? You can make it deeper if you're really flexible, but it's also a muscle thing and sometimes your body needs to get used to a pose, even if you can anatomically do it. Keep the knees bent, keep the hips pushed forward. You can keep the arms in the side or on the lower back if you want. And when you breathe in, stretch back up. When you breathe out, relax. It's a very intense pose, okay? So just play with that again. And you can do this many times and you will see it will get easier. It will get less straining. Okay. Straighten up. You can close your eyes for a second. Breathe in and all the way out. So try to notice what happens in the body after. Sometimes we feel things in a pose and different things afterwards. It's really important to notice that for yourself because it says something about how you are in the pose. Take your time. And now we're going to bring the arms up and we're going to make a little twist towards the sides. One side. When you breathe out, breathe in, bring the arms back up. Breathe out towards the side. It's the same movement we did sitting down. Now we're standing up, so we're going to try and keep our pose very strong. Knees a little bit bent, arms all the way up when you breathe in, and when you breathe out they're coming a little bit to shoulder height. One more time. When you breathe out, bring them down, backwards and forwards. When you breathe in, come up. And on your next breath out, you can roll yourself back towards the ground as we did in the beginning. Arms or hands on the floor. And then you can again come into a downward facing dog. So step back with the right foot. Then step back with the left foot or other foot first. Bend the knees. Find your downward facing dog or your puppy pose. And don't think that puppy is less than downward facing dog or that you're not trying hard enough. It's really about practice. And if this is the first time you try yoga, then be a little bit kind to yourself, okay? Or a lot kind, because it has to be a good experience for you. And it can be tough, that's okay, and you can challenge yourself if you feel comfortable, but keep in mind that it's not a goal we're reaching, it's a practice. Okay, when you're in downward facing dog, bring your knees all the way to the floor. Relax the feet. And then come onto the belly. We're going to lie on our belly. And you can bring the hands forward a little bit. So the elbows are under the shoulders. About shoulder width apart. Okay, so you can bring the hands on the elbows for a second. If they can reach over the elbows on both sides, then you're about shoulder wide. And it's really important to not keep the elbows too wide, because otherwise it's very straining on the elbows. Relax the belly, relax the hips. If this is too much, if the bend, the hollowing of the back is too much, you just bring the arms forward. Okay, if you bring them forward a little bit more, you'll notice that it will be a little bit easier on the lower back. Otherwise, you can just stay here for a second. And again, try to focus on the breathing. So how's the breath when the belly is slightly touching the floor? If hollowing the back is altogether really not a good idea for you, just come onto your belly, okay? Let your head rest on your hands. Just take a relaxing moment for yourself. Keep on breathing. Keep the belly all relaxed. Slowly in through the nose and out through the nose. From here, you just come onto your belly, let your head rest for a second on the hands. Take a few deep breaths. Feel how maybe the back of your body is rising a little bit with the breath. Even here, if you don't have to use any strength, you can use the breath as a tool to keep your awareness in the body. Because the mind wants to wander, and we try to keep it right here. From here, just roll on over to your back. I need to adjust my mic for a second, but just roll over to the back. And then bring the knees in. So you pull the knees all the way towards the chest. Keep them relaxed. If you want, you can make little circles. Just little movements with the knees. That way you massage the lower back all the way over the mat. It can be really nice because we use a lot of poses today where the back is well, worked. Roll onto both sides, both directions. Keep the breathing soft. Slowly in, slowly out. And if you want, you can just cross your ankles, hold the inside of your knees, bring your chin towards your chest, and roll yourself back up. If that's uncomfortable for you or uncomfortable for the spine sometimes, just roll over to the side and then slowly come onto a sitting position again. You can relax the hands on the knees. Close your eyes, take a few breaths. And then you can bring the hands together in front of your heart. And again, if you want, you can be grateful for this moment that you took to take care of yourself, to take care of your body, to take care of your mind, of your spirit. I want to thank you a lot for being here with me today. Namaste. If you have any questions or comments, please just leave them in the comments below, or you can always contact me through social media. Otherwise, I hope to see you next week. Have a really good day. Bye.